Sweetheart, I want you to take a deep breath right now. Just gently close your eyes, and as you breathe in, feel the air softly filling your lungs, expanding your chest, and bringing warmth into your heart. And as you breathe out, let go just a little of the tightness you've been carrying. You've been holding so much for so long. This is your space now. This is your moment to come back to yourself, to soften, to remember that peace is not something you chase. It is something that patiently waits for you to allow it back in. There are times when the heart feels heavy. Perhaps something has ended, a dream, a relationship, a sense of direction. Maybe it feels like your world shifted quietly in the night, and you woke up in a place that feels unfamiliar. In these moments, the mind begins to ask, why did this happen? Or what did I do wrong? And we try to make sense of it all, piecing together memories, overthinking words, revisiting old scenes in our minds like a movie that won't end. That's all right, darling. It is the mind's way of trying to protect the heart. But today, I want to gently remind you, you are not broken. There is nothing wrong with you. What you feel is part of being alive, part of being open, part of being someone who has loved and cared and tried. The very fact that you feel so deeply is proof that your heart has been wide open to life. And even though pain has come through that door, so has love, growth, truth, and strength. Let's take a moment to pause and simply be here together. You don't need to fix anything right now. You don't need to force yourself to feel better. Healing is not a race. It's a soft unfolding. Just like a flower doesn't bloom by pulling its petals open, you don't need to rush your healing. Let it come naturally, with kindness. Let it be held in a space of patience and gentleness. Sometimes the mind becomes noisy. It starts telling stories about what could have been or what should have happened. It tries to rewrite the past, hoping to understand something that may never fully make sense. And that's okay. But we don't have to follow those thoughts. We can observe them like clouds floating across the sky and simply let them pass. We can come back to this moment, to this breath, to the stillness that lives within us. Peace of mind begins when we stop fighting with the past, when we stop needing answers that hurt us more than help us, when we stop believing that we must suffer endlessly for what we didn't control. The truth is, everything that has happened has led you here, right now, to this place where a new beginning is waiting, not one forced or pressured, but one rooted in love. One that begins the moment you decide, I am ready to stop hurting myself with old thoughts. I am ready to choose peace. Even if the pain still lingers, you can begin to soothe it with kind words. That's why I love affirmations, not because they are magic, but because they change the energy of the thoughts we repeat every day. Try gently saying, I am willing to find peace. I am open to healing. I am safe to move forward. You don't have to believe them fully yet. The willingness is enough. The openness is the beginning. Think of it as planting seeds of peace. The more you water them with loving attention, the more they grow. I know that sometimes the heart feels like a puzzle with missing pieces. You may wonder how you will ever feel whole again. But what if I told you that you were never missing anything to begin with? That your heart, even bruised, still beats with the rhythm of life, still knows how to love, how to hope, how to rise. Healing does not require forgetting. It does not mean the past disappears. It simply means you give yourself permission to carry it differently, to carry it with wisdom, not pain. As you breathe here, softly and calmly, I want you to imagine your heart wrapped in a warm light, a light that doesn't judge you, a light that says, you did your best, a light that forgives you for not knowing what you didn't know, a light that holds you like the earth holds the tree, strong, supportive, and always there. When you feel overwhelmed, come back to your breath. Place your hand on your heart and whisper, I am here with you. I love you. You're not alone. That simple act of presence can begin to shift the energy within. You are your own safe place. You are your own source of calm. Letting yourself feel is not weakness. It is the doorway to peace. Because only when we allow ourselves to feel can we truly begin to heal. And when we give space to what hurts, we also give space to what heals. That's where we're going, my love, toward a space where peace no longer feels like a faraway place, but something you return to again and again. A quiet place inside, always ready to receive you. There is no shame in needing time to process, to reflect, to cry, to rest. Let all those feelings come without judgment. Let them pass through you like waves on the shore. They rise, they fall, and then the waters settle. So too will your heart. So too will your thoughts. You may not know the next step, and that's all right. The next step will reveal itself when you are ready. For now, just keep breathing. Keep choosing kindness. Keep choosing love. Even if that love is only a whisper today, it will grow louder. It will grow stronger. Because love is what you are made of. Love is what will carry you through. And peace, my darling, is your birthright. Now let us explore what happens when our thoughts, left unchecked, begin to cloud the skies of our inner world. The mind, when wrapped in old stories, can make the present moment feel heavy. It brings in the past again and again, almost like a storm that never stops raining. And the heart, so ready to heal, is pulled backward instead of forward. It's not because the mind is your enemy. It's because it learned to protect you. But now you can teach it a new way. Every thought is like a tiny seed. Some seeds bloom into beauty, into peace, into joy. Others bloom into worry, into fear, into confusion. And it's not your fault if your mind has been filled with worry seeds. Most of the world teaches us to think this way, to be afraid, to doubt, to replay our hurts like an old song. But once we become aware of the thoughts, we gain the power to choose differently. Let's take a moment to look at the kinds of thoughts that replay most often. Are they kind? Are they patient? Are they loving? Or are they filled with judgment, regret, fear, or blame? Becoming aware is the first gentle step. You don't have to change every thought at once. You only need to notice. When you catch yourself in a loop, going over something again and again, pause and say to yourself, this thought is not bringing me peace. I now choose a new thought. That's all. That little sentence begins to soften the old pattern. It's like turning the steering wheel gently toward a new direction. If you find that your body often feels tired, tense, or heavy, there may be thoughts behind those feelings. The body listens to the mind. If we constantly think, I'm not good enough, the body responds by shrinking, by tightening, by dimming. But if we gently think, I am learning to love myself, the body begins to open, to soften, to feel safe again. There is a beautiful connection between your thoughts and your health, not just your physical health, but your emotional and spiritual well-being. When you speak kindly to yourself, your whole being responds. The cells of your body listen. The nervous system calms. The heart beats steadier. This is not imagination. It is the miracle of the mind-body connection. You don't have to get rid of every negative thought. You simply need to create space for new ones. Peaceful thoughts, loving thoughts, supportive thoughts. These are like sunshine to the heart. These are like soft rain on dry soil. The more you offer them, the more your inner world will bloom. You can try a simple practice. In the morning, before you get out of bed, Place your hand on your chest and say, "Today I choose thoughts that nourish me." And then smile, just a little smile. It doesn't need to be big, just enough to let your body know that kindness is here. Throughout the day, when a painful thought shows up, say to it, "Thank you for trying to protect me, but I no longer need you. I choose peace now." These gentle declarations are not forceful. They are soft reminders that you are in charge of your inner world. You are not your thoughts. You are the awareness that sees them. The more often you practice, the easier it becomes, and you begin to feel something shift, not all at once, but slowly, softly. You'll notice more quiet moments, more ease, more softness in your breath, and those are the signs that peace is returning. Peace is not about a perfect life. It's about an inner choice to stop battling with yourself, to stop arguing with what was, to stop doubting your worth, and in place of all that noise, to plant thoughts like, "I am safe now. I am learning to trust life. It is safe for me to let go." These thoughts are the foundation of healing. Let yourself rest in this knowing. You are not lost. You are not behind. You are exactly where your healing begins. And every peaceful thought you choose is a step closer to the freedom your heart longs for. Keep going. Keep choosing. Keep loving. Peace is not far away. It is waiting for you to invite it in. And that, my love, is the most beautiful invitation of all. There is something gentle and sacred about forgiveness. It is not loud. It is not forced. It is a quiet invitation to release what no longer brings peace. Forgiveness is often misunderstood. Many think it means saying that what happened was acceptable or pretending the pain didn't matter, but that's not what forgiveness is. Forgiveness is not for the past. It is for your present. It is the soft choice to stop carrying what is too heavy for your heart. When we hold on to hurt, resentment, or betrayal, it doesn't just live in our thoughts. It lives in our body. It settles into our chest, our shoulders, our belly. It becomes tension. It becomes fatigue. It becomes a quiet ache we carry everywhere. And sometimes the one we most need to forgive is not someone else, but ourselves. Forgiveness begins when we say, "I no longer want to suffer from this memory. I no longer want to relive this pain." It's not about pretending the past was perfect. It's about choosing to stop allowing the past to rob your joy today. You can gently say, "I did the best I could with what I knew then, and now I choose to give myself peace." We don't have to force forgiveness. We can simply become willing. Just a little. That willingness is like a crack in a wall that has been built around the heart, and through that crack, light begins to pour in. You may not feel ready to forgive fully today, and that is all right. Just be willing. That willingness begins to soften the pain. Let's practice a simple healing phrase. "I forgive you and I set myself free." You can say this to old situations, to mistakes, to misunderstandings, even to yourself. You can whisper it in the quiet moments of the day or repeat it in front of a mirror. You don't need to explain or defend. Just breathe and let the words carry a little weight off your shoulders. Forgiveness is a gentle gift to the self. When we release the tight grip on what hurt us, we open our hands to receive something new. And in this space of openness, peace begins to grow. You do not have to forget. You do not have to go back. You only have to release the need to hold it all so tightly. When you find yourself revisiting an old pain, place your hand on your heart and say, "I am learning to let go. I am safe to move forward. I am no longer held by this story." These words don't erase the past. They open the door to a new future. One practice that can support this healing is mirror work. Stand before a mirror, look gently into your eyes and say, I forgive you, I love you, I am proud of you. At first, it may feel strange. You may even resist. That's okay. Keep showing up. Keep speaking with love. The mirror becomes a place of restoration, a place where old pain begins to soften under the gaze of compassion. With time, you may notice something beautiful. The pain begins to lose its grip. The blame becomes quieter. The heart feels a little lighter. And in that space, peace begins to return, not as something distant, but as something you create every day with your thoughts, your choices, and your love. Letting go can feel like standing at the edge of something unknown. There may be fear. There may be doubt. You may wonder, what if I let go and nothing comes to replace it? But I want you to know this. Letting go is not a loss. It is a return to your center, a return to your truth, a return to the peace that never left, only waited patiently behind the noise. There is safety in release. Holding on tightly does not keep you safe. It only keeps you stuck. The past cannot be changed, but your relationship to it can. When you let go, you make space for something new, and that something may be softer than anything you've known. It may be joy, it may be ease, it may be a breath that finally reaches the bottom of your lungs. Letting go does not mean you didn't care. It doesn't mean you didn't try. It simply means you are ready to carry yourself with more love than you've carried the pain. You are ready to walk forward with your heart open instead of closed. One way to begin this process is through journaling. You don't need to be a writer. Just sit with a quiet space, a pen, and a heart that is willing. Ask yourself, what am I holding on to that no longer serves me? Then gently write. Let the words come without judgment. Pour your feelings onto the page like water finding its way back to the ocean. Your heart knows what it's ready to release. You may write a letter, not one you send, but one you write for the purpose of freedom. A letter that says, I'm letting go of this pain. I'm letting go of this expectation. I'm letting go of needing answers. I'm letting go of blaming myself. And when you are done, you can fold the paper with love and keep it or tear it or release it in a way that feels symbolic for you. Letting go is a journey. Some days it will feel natural. Other days it may feel like starting over. But every step is progress. Every moment you choose peace over pain is a moment of healing. You are not failing when the past returns to your thoughts. You are simply being invited again to choose love. Affirmations can support this path. Try saying, it is safe for me to let go. I trust the future that is unfolding. I am free to create a life filled with peace. These are not just words. They are gentle reprogramming for a mind that's been taught to hold on. Letting go is not the end. It is the beginning of something beautiful, something that feels lighter, something that feels like coming home to yourself. It is the opening of the window after a long winter. It is the first deep breath after a long cry. It is the moment you say, I choose myself. I choose peace. I choose now. Peace is not found in the past, and it is not hidden in the future. It lives here in the quiet decision to stop fighting what cannot be changed. It lives in the softness of a heart willing to rest. And in this rest, healing grows. There is a calm beneath the surface of your mind, a stillness that has always been there, even if you haven't felt it in a while. Like the ocean, even when the waves rise and crash, there is a deep silence below. That silence is your true nature. That calm is your home. and you can return to it anytime. Cultivating inner peace does not require a special place or perfect life. It requires intention. Just a few quiet moments a day can open the door to stillness. Begin by sitting with your breath, not forcing it, just noticing. Feel the way the air moves in and out. Let it be a rhythm that reminds you, I am here, I am safe, I am enough. Peace is not the absence of thoughts, but the ability to let thoughts come and go like leaves on a stream. You do not need to follow everyone. You can let them float by. This is how peace grows, one breath, one moment, one choice at a time. Affirmations are wonderful tools to guide the mind back to calm. Try saying, I am at peace with the present moment. My breath brings me back to stillness. I allow serenity to wash over me. Say them softly, gently. Let them become part of the atmosphere of your day. You can also find peace in your body. Bring awareness to your shoulders, soften them. Bring awareness to your jaw, relax it. So often, tension lives where we are unaware. But the moment we bring attention with love, the body begins to release. Throughout your day, pause and ask, where am I holding tension? Then exhale, let go. Breathe peace into that space. It only takes a moment, but the ripple effects are powerful. There are days when the world feels loud and your thoughts feel heavier. That is when peace becomes even more important. Not a luxury, but a necessity. That is when you return to your breath, your soft words, your quiet inner sanctuary. Stillness is not found by doing more. It is found by allowing more space. Space to just be. No fixing, no pushing, just being. You can create rituals to invite peace. A few moments with your hand on your heart before sleep. A cup of tea sipped with full attention. A morning of silence before the day begins. These little acts are not small. They are powerful messages to your soul. I care for you. I create peace for you. In this stillness, answers arrive. Not loud or dramatic, but clear, gentle, true. You begin to trust your own rhythm. You begin to feel safe in your own presence. And that is where peace lives. Not out there, but within. Peace is your natural state. Beneath the worry, the noise, the tension, it is always there, waiting, loving, ready to hold you in its arms. And each time you turn toward it, even for a second, you strengthen the bridge that brings you home. There is something truly magical that happens when we speak to ourselves with kindness. When we pause, look gently into our own eyes, and speak as a loving friend would. So many have learned to be harsh with themselves, to repeat inner criticisms like old habits. But you don't have to do that anymore. You can choose today to become your own source of support, your own comfort, your own safe place. Mirror work is a practice that has changed many lives. It is simple yet powerful. You stand before a mirror and softly say loving words to yourself. At first, it may feel uncomfortable. Maybe the words feel unfamiliar. Maybe the eyes looking back seem tired, unsure. But with time and patience, something begins to shift. The reflection changes, not because your face changes, but because the energy behind your gaze becomes more loving. You might begin by saying, I am willing to love you. That small phrase is enough to begin. Even if part of you doesn't believe it yet, the willingness is the seed. And seeds, when nurtured, always grow. When you say to yourself, I am here for you, your nervous system begins to settle. When you say, I forgive you, your heart starts to soften. When you say, you are enough, your whole being breathes deeper. You are retraining the mind to be gentle. You are reminding your inner child that love is available now. Try placing your hands over your heart while looking into the mirror. Feel the warmth. Feel the life inside you. Speak slowly, softly. You are safe. You are loved. You are healing. Allow the mirror to become not just glass, but a sacred meeting space between your soul and your body. This is not about ego. It is about truth. The truth that you are a divine expression of life, that you deserve to be spoken to with love, that you can begin again each day with compassion. As you practice, you may notice tears. That's okay. Those are not signs of weakness. They are signs of truth touching the surface. Let the tears come. Let the heart open. This is what healing looks like. Mirror work is a way of returning home to yourself, a way of remembering that no matter what happened, you are still worthy of love, still whole, still radiant with life. And over time, something even more beautiful happens. You begin to believe the words you say. You begin to live them. You carry that loving energy into your day. And soon, that kindness you give yourself begins to radiate out to others. Not because you are trying, but because love naturally overflows. When you commit to this practice, even for just a minute a day, you are saying to life, I am ready to receive myself, and life responds with open arms. You are not here to be perfect. You are here to be whole, and mirror work is one of the most gentle and powerful ways to remember who you truly are, worthy, lovable, complete. Once we begin to let go of old pain and invite peace back into our lives, it becomes time to open the door to a new vision. A vision not shaped by fear or wounds, but by truth and love. Healing doesn't only mean releasing, it also means allowing joy, allowing hope, allowing the possibility that life can feel good again. You may have grown used to bracing for pain, to waiting for the next disappointment, but I want you to know it is safe now to dream a new dream, a dream that includes ease, a dream that includes laughter, a dream that includes a heart that feels light. Begin by asking yourself, what does peace feel like to me? Not what it looks like to others, but what it feels like inside your body, your breath, your being. Maybe it feels like soft mornings. Maybe it feels like quiet confidence. Maybe it feels like not rushing through your day. Let this feeling guide your new vision. Visualization is a powerful tool. Close your eyes and imagine a life where you feel supported, where your thoughts are gentle, where your days are filled with kindness and your heart feels safe. See yourself moving through the world with ease. Feel the joy in your chest. Let this image grow bright in your mind like a sunrise touching the earth. You don't need to know how this vision will come to life. You only need to hold the feeling. The universe responds to feeling, to emotion, to belief. When you believe it is possible, even in the smallest way, you open the door for it to arrive. Write your vision down. Not a list of things to achieve, but a description of how you want to feel, how you want your inner world to move, how you want to carry yourself, and read it each morning, letting those words become the song of your day. You can also create a simple affirmation. I welcome a life of peace and joy. I am open to a heart that feels light and free. Say it as often as you like. Let it become a new rhythm in your mind. The past may have been heavy, but your future can be light, not because you escape your story, but because you transform your relationship to it. You become the artist, not the wounded character. You hold the brush now, and every thought, every loving choice is a stroke on the canvas of your new life. Let this vision be gentle. Let it grow naturally. Let it feel nourishing, not pressuring. You are not here to force a new life into being. You are here to allow it to unfold like petals in sunlight. Your heart is healing. Your mind is softening. Your soul is guiding you towards something beautiful. And you are ready now to receive it. Every transformation begins with a small, loving practice, not a grand plan or sudden change, but gentle steps that support your healing day by day. It is these daily moments of self-care that build a strong foundation for peace. Let's begin with gratitude. Not forced gratitude, but honest noticing. In the morning, before your feet touch the ground, think of one thing you are thankful for. It could be your breath, your bed, a beam of sunlight, the stillness of the early hour. Let this moment of thankfulness set the tone for your day. Throughout your day, speak to yourself with kindness. Replace criticism with encouragement. If you make a mistake, gently say, "That's all right, I'm learning." If you feel sad, whisper, "I'm here for you." These soft words become strong medicine for the soul. Use breath as your anchor. When the world feels fast or overwhelming, pause and take a deep breath. Inhale peace, exhale tension. Do this as often as needed. Let your breath be a loving friend that reminds you to return to the present. Create small rituals that nourish you. Maybe it's lighting a candle before bed. Maybe it's writing down a few kind words to yourself. Maybe it's placing a hand on your heart and saying, "I love you. I'm proud of you." These rituals, though simple, become sacred over time. Choose affirmations that feel like warm blankets. I am gentle with myself. I trust life. I am healing one breath at a time. Write them down. Place them where your eyes will see them often. Speak them softly, lovingly, without pressure. Let go of the need to be perfect in your healing. Healing is not a straight line. It curves, it pauses, it unfolds. Some days will feel easy, others may not. That's okay. Consistency in love matters more than perfection in practice. At night, reflect gently. Ask yourself, what did I do today that felt loving? Even the smallest things count. Drinking water, resting, saying no when needed. These are acts of self-care. Honor them. Thank yourself. You are building a new relationship with life, one rooted in love, not fear, one guided by peace, not pressure. And every daily practice is a brick in the home you are creating within yourself. Let your healing be soft. Let your days be filled with presence. Let your heart be reminded again and again, you are doing beautifully. Sweetheart, you have traveled through your feelings with courage. You have stood with your heart in moments of pain and allowed it to speak. You have explored thoughts that once weighed you down, and you have chosen love instead. That is something to honor deeply. There is no need to rush, no need to demand a destination. Healing is not something you arrive at. It is something you live. Every gentle thought, every loving word, every act of kindness toward yourself is a form of healing. You are already doing the work. You have learned to let go, not by force, but with grace. You have learned to trust peace, not as a stranger, but as a companion. And slowly, quietly, something within you has begun to glow again. That glow is your truth. That glow is your light. Know this. Peace of mind is not something outside of you. It is not something others can give or take away. It is something you create moment by moment with your attention, your breath, your love. And your heart, no matter how many times it has been bruised, is not broken. It is strong. It is wise. It is capable of loving again, trusting again, living fully again. As we close this time, together, let us hold a final soft affirmation. I am at peace with myself. I am healing. I am free to move forward in love. Speak it softly. Speak it slowly. Let it echo in your body. Let it rest in your heart. You are not alone. Life walks with you. Love lives within you. Peace is always just one kind thought away. So go gently now. Be kind to yourself and trust that you are exactly where you need to be. Healing is happening. Peace is growing. And your heart is ready for a new, beautiful chapter.